Hi guys, welcome to Bhroman Braapsody episode number 25. For our new viewers, here at Bhroman Braapsody, we review cars and motorcycles. I am the host for your cars and the Meanie does the motorcycles. And today we have a 2021 Honda Pilot Special Edition. So in today's episode, we're going to look at some of the features both inside and outside. We're going to take it out for a spin, talk about the cost of ownership, and assign it a Bhromance Score. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. It's your boy Bro, and I am your Broman. Shout out to our friends at Lunar Lenz. Lunar Lenz is where speed meets light. They are the photographers that take these pictures of our cars and motorcycles. Check out their Facebook page in the video description below. So before we get started, if you like our content, please like and subscribe. This is a 2021 Honda Pilot in the Special Edition. The Honda Pilot is a mid-size SUV, and in the Special Edition trim, it gets all of these black accents and features. This can seat up to 8 people inside, tow up to 3,500 pounds, and under the hood you have a 3.5 liter V6. And in this edition, in the Special Edition, you also get the Honda Sensing. The Honda Sensing is your forward collision, brake assist, lane assist, and if you're changing lanes without the turn signal or anything, it'll help with the steering and the braking. And it also has adaptive headlights. So let's look around the car and look inside for some of the features. Now starting off from the front of the car, since it's a Special Edition, so you get the blacked out grille, LED headlamps, running daylight, turn signal and fog lamps. And again, with the Special Edition, you get 20-inch black alloy wheels. Looks good, doesn't it? The Special Edition also gets you those black trim pieces on the bottom and the little piece by the mirror. And another cool thing about the Special Edition, you get those roof rails as standard. Under the hood, you have the 3.5 liter V6 that puts out about 280 horses and 270 foot-pound of torque. Now the hood does not have a hydraulic lift to it. It's got this old school little support that you have to pick and put it up. And to close the hood, you just slam it down. So this is the key fob for the Honda Pilot. It's got buttons for your lock, unlock, remote start, trunk release, and the panic button. On the other side, it has the Honda logo. This is a neat little key fob. Oh, and let me show you guys a cool little trick. You might have seen this as a TikTok trend, but you see all the windows are up. Let's lock the car. And now unlock and hold. So the windows come down. You have a little button on your door handle that locks the car. And now to open the car, as long as you have your key fob in the pocket, go ahead and put your hand there. See, it unlocks it, and boom. Now starting off with the door, starting off with the driver's side door, this has a nice two-tone color to it. This is hard plastic down below, but the top is sort of soft touch. You have little storage spaces on the door, and then you have your buttons for your window controls, child lock, lock and lock, child lock, and then your memory seating. On the side, you also have buttons for the fuel cap and the trunk release. On the interior, you have the same two-tone color. You have the two-tone going on. It looks very spacious, and you see, just like the Honda Odyssey, the Pilot now has little armrests for the front passengers, the driver and the passenger. Once you're inside, this is your front dash. This has a pretty decent sized steering wheel with the Honda logo. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm about 5'10", and I have lots of headroom, lots of room on the sides. And as for the legroom, there is plenty. To the left hand side of the steering wheel, you have all these buttons. This is your side mirror controls. You can go left or right, whichever one you want to adjust. You have the button to start the economy mode, and then further down below you can turn off the lane assist and the forward collision management system, so this is not going to brake for you. And then you have the button for traction control, and then you have these additional 2 spots that are empty or blank. I guess as you go higher up the trim levels, you're gonna have something here. Now for the steering wheel, this is a decent sized steering wheel. This is not a compact steering wheel by any stretch of the imagination, and it has a few buttons on it. These are the buttons to toggle through your menu options that you would see on the center screen there. I'll get to it in a minute. You have the buttons for to end a call, to receive a call, end a call, and voice control. To the right, you have your buttons for cruise control, adaptive cruise, and then these are where you would, this is for your lane assist, and this, I think this activates all the other safety nanny features. Behind the steering wheel, what do we see? Paddle shifters in a mid-size SUV. Behind that, you have the stock for your headlight and turn signals. On the other side, you have the other paddle shifter and your wiper control. Then you have buttons here to adjust the brightness of your dash, and that's your start button. On your left, you have the engine temperature, and on your right you have your fuel gauge, and in the middle you have a tachometer, and it tells you which gear the car is in, your speedometer, odometer at the bottom, and it also gives you the outside temperature. To toggle through that menu there, you have to come back to this button, and as you press here, you can go through all of the various menu options. So now as you go through the menu options, if you want to see a trip computer, just hit enter and it'll tell you. The buttons on the side are to toggle through your radio stations. The surfaces on top has a nice feel to it. They're not really soft touch, but they're not super hard either. Then moving on to your infotainment center here. This is again a touch screen, and you have the home, back, and you can adjust the brightness of the infotainment screen from here. And this has a lot of options. This has got both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. If you have a phone connected, you can go there. Right now there's no phone detected. And right below the infotainment screen, you have the lights for your hazards. A little further down below, these are your temperature controls for the 2 sides, or you can sync them. And both of these seats, the seats in the front are heated, and these are the buttons for your heated seats. You have a little storage space here, and if you look further down below, you have 2 power outlets. You have a cigarette lighter style power outlet, and then a USB power outlet. And this area here is a wireless charging station. So I have a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, and if I put it there, it's charging. It does not have a gear selector that you're used to. What this has is just like the Honda Odyssey. It's got buttons for park, press that for reverse, neutral, drive, and sport mode. Further down below, you can toggle through your driving modes, and the auto start stop feature, you can turn that off if you so choose to. To the sides, then you have 2 large cup holders here. You have a center console. I like the finish of the lid of the cover of this. And inside, it's a very wide and pretty big storage space. You have another cigarette lighter style power outlet here, and a USB power outlet. This is that little thing, this is the little place where you can store your sunglasses. But this does another cool thing. So if you wanted to see what the kids are doing at the back of your seat, but you don't want to turn around, well, boom, when you put it when you leave it there, that acts like a mirror, and you can see what your kids are up to in the back seat. Now on the second row of seating, the doors have the same 2-tone color scheme going on here, and the interior looks very spacious. On the doors, you have the button for your windows, the door lock, the door handle, 2 cup holders on each side. And for your rear passengers, they also get this little privacy screen. The rear passengers can control the temperature, they can select the fan speed, turn it off, put it on auto, or select where they want the air to flow. And further down below, you have 2 USB power outlets. So for the second row passengers, they get 6 cup holders. 2 here and 2 on each door. I'm sitting in the second row of seats. As you can see, there's plenty of headroom, plenty of room on the sides. As for the legroom, I have the seat at my driving position and I'm comfortable. There's plenty of legroom. So if you want to get into the last row of seats, there's a button here. You press and hold it, the seats fold and move up a little. Then if you push it, it just goes all the way to the front, and now you have a little opening to get through. Once you're inside, you can just pull these back towards you. On the last row of seats, you have 3 cup holders on each side and an air vent and reading lights. Now I am sitting in the third row of seats. I have a lot of headroom. I have a lot of space on the sides. You could fit 2 adults in the third row comfortably. As for the legroom, it's just enough. It's just enough. If you're trying to get out of the third row of seats, same thing. Press and hold this button that folds and you push it forward. In the trunk, you have a little spot here where you can put some of your stuff. Behind this, you have a little funnel that you could use to pour in gas if you run out of gas somewhere. You have a power outlet. You have a little more storage space here. If you lift this up, you have a little more space. The second row and the third row seats fold down, and this gives you a lot more storage. To fold these seats, grab onto these and give it a pull. Boom. This is the view of the cockpit, and the visibility is awesome. All right, so let me go ahead and put it in sport mode. To do that, just press the DS button and it's in sport mode. It says S. All right, now that we have it in sport mode, let's see how this thing can move. So foot on the brake, foot on the gas, and we'll go. Well, that engine made a lot of sound, a lot of noise. It gave you a feeling like, but just as I had expected, it wasn't like super fast or super crazy or anything like that. It was like you'd expect your mid-size SUV to move. Not very quick, but hey, you can see the seating position on this car is quite high. So you get to see a lot of stuff around you, The seats themselves are very comfortable. This interior, man, it is so quiet. It is so quiet. There is no road noise, tire noise, wind noise, none of that. It's so quiet. It's like you're in your own little cocoon. The suspension eats up most of the bumps and cracks on the road. You don't really feel a lot of them. Can you use this for long distance travel and stuff like that? Oh, absolutely. This car is big, roomy, spacious, quiet, and the ride so far is very comfortable. So yeah, you can go on long road trips. And can you use this as your daily driver? I think you can. This car it does not feel very big when you're driving it, at least. So yeah, this should be no problem. And among most among this category of mid-size SUVs, I think the Pilot has one of the best fuel economies in that range. I think you got a combined 22 or 24, somewhere between 22 and 24 miles a gallon. So yeah, this is not gonna break your bank either. It is so quiet right now. I'm under 2000 RPM and I'm doing about 50 miles an hour, and it's so quiet. It's so quiet. Now this does have a lot of cargo space. I mean, you can get a decent amount of cargo space, so you can, if you wanted to haul stuff around, you could. Now this is all-wheel drive, so you can drive it in all weather conditions. I live in North Carolina, so we do not get a lot of snow here, so I could not tell you how good this is gonna be in the snow. There's no way for me to test it out here, but I'm assuming it should be pretty good. This car can tow up to 3,500 pounds, which seems to be the standard for this segment of cars. Yeah, the suspension is pretty good. Like going through like little corners and stuff, there is not a lot of body roll. Now, I'm not doing it crazy fast, but still, it feels quite planted. So let's talk about the cost of ownership for the Honda Pilot. Well, they recommend an oil change at every 7,500 miles and a service at every 15,000 miles. Each service could cost you different because they go off of whatever codes the car gives them. And there's a whole list of codes. So over a 2-year period, assuming you drive 15,000 miles a year, you would need two major services and 4 oil changes. The cost of each service is going to vary by your driving style, but on an average, it costs about $800 over 2 years. And the tires, I was looking up the forums, they can last anywhere between 15,000 to 40,000 miles. So let's assume that you need a tire change. That's another 800. So that's a total of 1,600 over 2 years. Divided by the number of days, it's about $2.20 a day. So let's assign it a score, shall we? So on the looks, it's an 8 out of 10. On the Braap, it's a 4 out of 10. On the maintenance, it's a 7.5 out of 10. And on the usability, it's an 8.5 out of 10 for a combined Bhromance Score of 7 out of 10. So the Honda Pilot in the special edition has got all these blacked out trim pieces and it looks good. It's all-wheel drive. It can seat seven adults comfortably. I think the pump said 8. No, it's a 7-seater. And of all the mid-size SUVs that I've reviewed, in my opinion, the Ford Explorer and the Honda Pilot are the most spacious, especially when it comes to the third row seating, where it's got enough headroom and legroom for adults. And again, with the Pilot, you get a lot of features. It's got a lot of goodies in the car. It's not a very fast car, not a quick car, but it's a very, very practical car. If you're in the market looking for a 7-seater or a mid-size SUV with 3 rows of seating that can tow a decent amount, this can tow what, 3,500 pounds, take a look at the Honda Pilot. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bro out.